what it do, y'all? This your boy Pat coming to y'all live once again. Now, sorry for being late. You know, we was having like a bit of difficulty issues right here, but we finally got everything set up. So everybody, welcome today. We have a very special show for you right here because as you see, I have with me today the lovely and talented Miss Kitty Quinn. Say hi.
Hi, how are y'all doing?
All right, thank you for joining me today. Now, Kitty comes to me by recommendation because I put out a question on Twitter asking if anybody knew any sex workers that I could talk to. And she came at me as a recommendation by our dear friend, Princess Unicorn Nipples. You know, he is a very dear person right there. So he recommended you, and when I got in contact, I'm like, oh yeah, she sounds very interesting. I went through all your Twitter profile, and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna have some real fun right here. So thank you, Princess Unicorn Nipples, for setting this whole entire thing up.
Yes, he is so awesome. Love him to pieces. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Lots of kisses to him.
You hear that? Yeah. All right. So without further ado, my first question I basically want to ask you right here is you want to tell us a bit about yourself and everything that you do right now?
Okay. Well, right now I am doing fetish modeling full time. I have been for almost 9 months now. So I am doing that entirely to support myself and pay all of my bills and everything like that. So I've been in the BDSM community for many years, but I'm still newer to the adult fetish industry. So I've been to some fetish cons before I got into the industry and kind of had a turning point last year. So I just do shoots and I do customs and sessions and I do sexting and phone work and all sorts of stuff like that. I just kind of get my hand in everything because I'm trying to basically build an empire of Kitty Quinn fetish, and that's something that's sustainable that I can still be doing in 10 years.
All right, sweet. Now that sounds like a well good plan right now. Starting and working your way up, and hoping one day it's going to be there. Which brings to my next question right there. Is how long have you been in the sex industry, and when did you first get started?
I did my very first shoot in August of last year. That was my very first time. I went to Fetish Con in the beginning of August and introduced myself and got introduced to a lot of people there as somebody that was interested in starting to model. And that was kind of the turning point where I honestly thought I started thinking about it probably about maybe a year and a half before I got into it, because I really wanted to think it through and decide for myself if this was something that I really wanted to do and I would be able to, handle it if any of my family members or friends or anybody found out. I'd still be able to be, proud of myself and know that I haven't compromised myself. So once I had thought everything through, because whenever I do anything, I do it 100%. I left the dental field after over 10 years and threw myself into it full time. In the beginning, it was a lot of delivering Uber Eats and Postmates and stuff like that because I was doing trade work and I wasn't getting paid for my shoots yet. I was getting content that I would be able to in turn sell on my clip stores later on, but I was delivering people's meals till 5 a.m. a lot of nights trying to pay my bills because I knew you had to put a lot into it to get something out of it.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's all right. So next question right here is I said, when I got in contact with you, I looked up a lot of your work on your little sites and on Twitter right there. And I see that you do a whole lot of fetish work, which involves a lot of feet work. I've basically seen right there. It's like,
yeah, definitely. I do a wide variety of fetish, and there's a whole lot that is definitely feet focused for sure. I have some of my greatest supporters and fans are my foot fetish people, and they're just an amazing group of people, and this area is saturated with producers and talent that shoot foot fetish content. So being local to the area, it's kind of easy for me to kind of fall into that as well.
Yeah, with that right there. So a lot of foot fetishes out there. I was surprised to see right there myself. It's like I knew it was like was one of those things. I'm like, wow, it is really like
Definitely.
quite the deal right there. So like besides like foot fetish, you know other things like tickle fetishes and things like that. I think I seen like one video where y'all was you and like two other ladies was kind of doing like nut busting and like yeah. So it's like a lot of BDSM that comes in the mix. So like what all different varieties of fetishes that you do entirely?
Oh my gosh. I was actually thinking about it the other day, and I was thinking I wanted to start a list to actually get a count of how many fetishes I've shot,
Mhm.
because I'm sure it's well over 100 different fetishes at this point. You've got burping fetishes that I've shot. I've done futanari, where I'm a female that winds up looking down and has a dick and makes it come, and it's super fun fetish to shoot. Totally love it. I have shot a lot of BDSM. I've done some bondage. I've done a farting clip. I've done all kinds of foot, like different realms of foot fetish clips. I've done tickling clips. I mean, like I've even done hair brushing clips. There's hand clips. I mean, I've done so many different varieties. It's kind of insane to think about how many new fetishes I've been able to get introduced to, because I think it's really awesome to find different parts of the fetish community and really be able to understand those fetishes and the people that really enjoy them.
Yeah, so it's like a huge variety out there.
Massive,
So like
massive.
when it comes to like the tickle fish, so are you like very ticklish, or it's like does it take like
I'm
certain
incredibly
spots?
ticklish. I'm incredibly ticklish. It's ridiculous. I'm like insanely ticklish, which is usually why most of my tickle videos, I think, I'm usually in bondage when I'm getting tickled, because I like violently try to get away.
Yeah, like
Um,
no,
like,
like yeah,
yes,
we
like
gotta strap you
I love
down.
it. I love it, but I hate it. You know what I mean? Because it is definitely a workout when you do extreme tickling fetish videos, because you're fighting the restraints and every muscle in your body is getting worked and you're laughing really hard, and it's just super intense. But it gives you, I don't know, maybe it's something with the endorphins it releases, but
Mhm.
it's torture. But I mean, I am a bit of a masochist, so I'm a sucker for punishment.
Oh, so like give and get at the same time,
Little
or
bit, a little
or
bit.
it all just depends on the mood. So when it comes to
Yeah.
tickling, so it's like just anywhere because like for me it's like in my sides, my feet, kind of behind my knees and things like that. If like you catch me in those spots right there, it's like oh yes.
A lot of people are like that, where you really just kind of have to get the perfect spot to feel
Mhm,
like, okay, I'm ticklish, but you can touch me here and I'm totally not ticklish, but I'm totally
mhm.
ticklish. And I'll like violently start laughing and like squirming and being crazy. But I'm pretty much ticklish everywhere. I really, honestly, before I started doing fetish work, I thought my feet were the most ticklish part on my body. And then I discovered that I was very wrong. Although my feet are insanely ticklish, it's my underarms that really, it is the worst. It like makes me like feel like I'm like pushing the limits of what I can do as a professional and as a model and as a fetishist. But yeah, it's definitely super intense, and it's everywhere. Like my arms, my sides, my stomach, my legs, my feet, my ribs, like pretty much anywhere. If you just even use the right tickle tool, or
Mhm.
you just like tickle me like the right way, or have certain types of like nails, I mean, anywhere on my body I can just go nuts.
All right. Okay, so my next question, say uh yeah, like I was talking about earlier, like look through your Twitter profile where it's basically like foot fetish, ticklish and things like that. It also says that you're a sadomasochist. So like I said, you like giving and receiving, or it depends on the mood.
I am. I'm definitely a switch. When I first got into the BDSM community, I was identifying myself just solely as a submissive. And in a lot of ways, I tend to be, in certain manners, very submissive, but I've always had very dominant personality and traits as well. So it's one of those things that I realized about 2 years ago, that I started to have not only a sadistic side, but more of a dominant side, that I wasn't getting completely fulfilled with being a submissive, because, I like to live BDSM 24/7 type of a lifestyle, and I have since before I got into the industry. So it was something I had to explore and kind of put a lot of thought into. But I found that I'm definitely a switch, and it kind of depends on the personality. I interact with certain people, and instantaneously my submissive side is tapped into, and that's kind of the direction that it will follow. But other people, it just naturally and I've done it where I don't even realize I'm being dominant, and I've had somebody watching me with someone else, and they're like, wow, I didn't realize you were that dominant or in the dynamic. I'm surprised, because you probably wouldn't expect it from me. But yeah, I've got both sides to me for sure, and they both are itches that need to be scratched.
Yeah, so when they said oh yeah, wow, you can dominate me anytime.
Definitely. And I love shooting femdom content. It's a lot of fun. It's always a good time. It's really enjoyable.
Oh, we have a friend on here named Scribe. He would just love you. So maybe one time, I'll recommend it to him, and y'all might be able to talk sometime, because he talks a lot about BDSM as well. So it's all right. My next question comes right here. It's oh no, we asked them right there. So it's okay. So you said you've been in the industry for how long now?
Let's see. So it's been 10 months now altogether.
So 10 months. So it's still brand new. So so have you met so you met any interesting people so far that you work with?
I've met some of the most interesting and some of the most incredible people in this industry. I met a lot of them. I was exposed to a lot of people in the industry for a little over a year before I actually got into the industry, because I was actually dating somebody who was in the adult film industry. So just from, being with that person and dating them, I was introduced to a lot of people. I had always been encouraged by my friends in the BDSM community about modeling and stuff like that. But I've met some really, really, really interesting characters. Overall, at Fetish Con last year, I met so many crazy, wild people, and just, it's always really interesting to me to, whenever I get to find somebody else that's another kinkster, a fetishist, or a fan or a supporter of the content I create. It's always really exciting for me to get a chance to be able to interact with them a little bit.
All right, I'm saying that's really nice right there, because because with the fetish community, it's when I see a whole lot of it, it's to me, it's still kind of confusing, because it's hard for me to get into it. I can see myself doing the little tickling thing and stuff like that, but when I see things the foot fetishes and all the other different things like this, some of it I can see I could do that right there, but some it kind of weirds me out a little bit. But it's they say don't knock it till you try it, or and don't shun upon it until you really get to know the inside out, which is another question right there. It's how is it compared to when people know you outside
Hang on, I can't hear you.
Community,
I don't know if Wi-Fi or yours, but I can't hear you.
The positive and negative that community.
Hang on, you're kind of cutting in and out, and I didn't catch all of your questions.
It's probably on my part. Sometimes the internet act up. So All right,
Oh yeah,
where did I miss
on
off
that.
at?
All right, you said it was leading to another question. When we were talking about like how you were, not about like, shunning and stuff like
Oh, I see.
that.
I'm kind of roboting. That'll happen from time to time. So, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Wait. Are you
Okay.
still
No.
talking? Okay. Like, stop talking then. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can fix that right there. Yeah, I know. Sometimes my internet will get like a little. Okay.
Mine
So.
used to be terrible. I just changed my service like a month ago. Mine was awful and I hated it.
And with this wireless internet I have right here, sometimes it'll go in and out. It all depends. I was hoping for a perfect, but
No worries. No worries.
it happens. Okay, so how are we right now?
We're good. You're good.
Okay.
The visual isn't so good, but the audio.
So the question now. All right, the question I was asking is like, yeah. So the question I was asking is like it's like how is the fetish community like seen in a lot of people's eyes, because like in the positive and negative effects of it that are people that people like you've met.
It's a polarizing topic. It's something that some people take great offense to, or don't approve of, or feel very judgmental towards. It's definitely something that, it can go either way. And that was part of why I thought so long before I got into the industry, because I had to think about how it can be very negative with dealing with some people. I personally haven't encountered too many people yet that, stand out in my memory as being, against it. Like I've, told my mom, what I do. Like I've told some of my family members what I do. I don't particularly hide it. I don't flaunt it to my family's face, but I don't particularly hide it from anyone. But it's definitely something that I'm sure I will encounter at some point. But I've noticed for the most part, the people that are in the community are really the most amazing people, and it's very accepting. There's, I'm not about, I don't like condone or support any form of kink shaming whatsoever. And most of the people are really open, genuine, really cool people in the fetish community, as well as in, the fetish industry by itself. So, I mean, I've definitely met like people on both ends of the spectrum, even before I got into the industry, people judging about me dating someone in the industry. I started to realize how judgmental people could be. That was when I first got probably the taste that I would understand it before I was even in the industry myself.
Yeah, I can understand that right there. Like I said, which is one of the purpose of these interviews right here is like finding out myself, like from a different person's point of view of something that I don't truly know everything about. So it's like if I can, get like the good point of view from now, from a person who's actually into that type of thing. So that way I can understand. So I don't be, as judgmental and things like that. Cause like I said, it's like, I know part of like the fetish community and things like that, but I don't know everything. So it's like, it is nice to get like that, that person's point of view of like, you'd be surprised at what's all in here. Like everybody's, like, very nice and things like that, So this is what I like right here. And also I have a friend right here in the chat named KIC who basically said this. This is why she usually keeps her keys to herself because of what you said, because some people can be like very judgmental and things like that.
Yeah.
And it is really sad.
Like when I've done these foot night parties where it's a live event with 15 models and we do live foot fetish sessions and it's very private. And I've spoken to certain fans and supporters before the event that were very anxious about coming to the event. A lot of people, society has trained us to think that it's wrong. Society has trained us to think that if it's not, even in spite of like the growth of the LGBTQ community over the years and how much more accepting we've become of people's sexuality, ultimately society has trained the people, and we have a polarized half and half type of a country of people that's just how they feel about it, and they're going to be happy to voice that they disapprove of it. So when you're discussing your kinks and your fetishes, it's a very vulnerable point for you to be sharing that. 'Cause it's a very intimate thing for you to share something that's private, that gives you something so fulfilling and satisfying and necessary in your life. So that's why I'm really against any form of kink shaming. And I've even started shot some kinks that, like in fetishes, that I would have never assumed. I was like, I would have never even thought I would shoot, much less enjoy, and have found new things that I like as well. So I think it's always going to be a learning experience, and you can never say, you know, every single crevice and corner of the fetish community. I mean, maybe if you've done it for 30 years, maybe, but there's still stuff evolving.
All right, so we have a question from the chat right here by a person by the name of Ghost City Johnny Blaze, and he asked you this. He said, "Pat, ask her if she tongue buttered the turtle cake." I'm like, really? This early, Johnny?
Oh my God! Are you asking me about a job? I don't understand what that even means. Is that what you're asking?
No, tongue buttered.
I don't even get that. I'm like, I'm lost.
It's like tongue butter the turtle cave is like an inside job that was created by like one of the channels that we watch called Lords of the Night, like our friend Scribe Live. What it basically is, like tongue butter the turtle cave basically means like do you lick ass?
Yeah, okay, so it's like a rim job we're talking about. That's kind of what I thought.
Yes.
Like that's the only reference I could think of that would be applicable. I have not in the industry. I have with a former partner that I had a BDSM dominant submissive dynamic with. It was something he was into, so I said I was open to trying it just to see if I liked it or not. And I did not like it particularly. It wasn't a very pleasant or pleasurable experience for me. I wasn't able to find anything enjoyable about it. So it's not something I've ever really gone back and done. I tried it twice with that person. And then I was like, I can't do this. And then I never thought I would like somebody doing that to me. But then I actually had someone eat my ass, and it is one of the most amazing things I've ever experienced. So about a year or two ago, I converted, and I'm all about receiving, but I don't do the giving.
Yeah, so receiving, but not the giving part. Like correct. So there you go, Johnny. All right, which brings us to my next question right here. So it's like, what is the wildest request you've ever received in the entire industry?
Oh my God, they're all so like the other day I was actually talking to somebody, and they asked me what I had shot that day, and I told them like the list of fetishes I shot that day. I was like, oh, I did a burping one, I did an arm wrestling one, I did a wedgie one, I did like one where I had to pee myself in a shower. I did like all the stuff, and he's like, are you sure you don't like work for Jackass? Like it literally sounds like the shit you do. And then like I show him a clip of me doing a sneezing clip, and I'm literally like snorting this sneezing powder, and I'm like dying already. And then I'm saying, as I'm snorting more of it, I was like, all right, well, here we go. I was like, I don't even know why I do this to myself. And I do more of it. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I kind of do. Maybe I should be on Jackass. But weirdest requests. One of the weirder ones was asking a guy overseas wanted me to send him and I get a lot of these types of requests, so it's not even like it was a one-time thing. It happens all the time. That they want me to send them a jar of my piss so they can do a live chat with me like this sort of when they receive it, and have me watch them drink it. This is something I never understood, but I shot with a producer here locally who's really amazing guy, and I actually shot like a peeing fetish clip with him. And I said to him, I was like, I don't have a problem shooting it. It is what it is. Like when I'm working, I'm like, my only fetish is money. That's what it is. Like I do what I do. It's professional. But like I said, I just don't get, like, I can't understand that fetish. And he was able to explain it to me, how it's a very intimate thing for people because it's something that, it can only come from you. It's something that it's like kind of an exchange of something very intimate and personal between two people, and kind of explain it on a deeper level. And I get it now. So I don't find it as bizarre as I did before because I just didn't understand it. Some of the other weirder ones I just did. I don't feel like any of it's really weird to me anymore, but what might be weird to you guys or the viewers was me stomping on a cake or smashing a pie with my feet and talking shit to the camera as if this were as if I was doing CBT, cock and ball torture, and as if that was me doing that to him. I had another one that they wanted me to talk shit to a stuffed animal and fart on it and suffocate it with my farts to death. So, I've shot one that I was eaten alive by an alien monster. I was masturbating, it started crawling up my leg and it ate me alive. Like, I've had ones where I've had a spider, we got bit by a spider, it impregnated us, we did all these photos, it was a wild set, ended out with us having like cum lube and spiders crawling out of our vaginas, like really weird, like there's all sorts of unique stuff. Like I said, I don't really call it weird anymore because I've been exposed to it, but you would be a better descriptor, I think.
All right. Have there ever been any requests that you looked at and you're just like, that's a little too wild?
Yeah, no, I definitely, of course I have my limits, as every model should. I don't shoot boy girl content. So I always have to turn down. I get a lot of offers to, have sex, and I'm not at the point. I may one day do that, but at this point in my career, I don't. I just shoot fetish, hand jobs, and foot jobs. I shoot some blow jobs, but exclusively for my site on OnlyFans. And, so I do turn down a lot of that. I get a lot of inquiries about like facial abuse type of blowjobs, and I turn those down a lot. I did have one that was, but they wanted to like suspend me like from the air in rope, and I'm not a bondage bunny that way. So I've turned that down. I had one that was like a scat one about like using like shit or something, and that one I just didn't feel like they were paying the worth of having to deal with feces. But yeah, no, I've definitely turned down a lot of work since I've started. I could definitely have made probably almost twice as much as what I've made if I just was willing to shoot whatever came and knocked at the door, but that's just not the way I want to do my stuff.
Yeah, but it's like, you got your limits right now until like like the stock rises or things like that. Like so like how you said, basically it's like you haven't done like the boy girl like sex thing. Well, not just yet. It may be something in the future, but as time goes by, and you get bigger. All right, I got another question in the chat right here. Like, where did it go? RVA Dar asks, have you done any gigantress videos? Like what's
giantess? Yes, I have. I love doing giantess. I actually just got my bag of 100 little people for an army, so I can start shooting my own.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yes, I've done a lot of giantess. I traveled and shot giantess for Tiny Guy Customs in Minneapolis this year. It's really fun fetish, and I've also shot like the reverse, like the shrinkage fetish, where I was shrunk down to be super tiny, and that was really fun. Doing a lot of green screen work on that one mostly, but it was a lot of fun kind of getting the reverse effect of being the one that was shrunken. But I love doing giantess videos. It's a really fun fetish.
All right. It looked like it hurts stepping on all those things right there. Does it ever?
Nah. Nah,
Maybe it's just me because I got some sensitive feet, so I'm like,
it'll jab me good one time, but I haven't had it happen yet.
I know. I know the bottom of my feet are sensitive, and you think they'd be all tough with, like, say, I've had 3 kids and I've stepped on a lot of Legos, so it's like, oof. I don't think nobody could ever.
Demon though, Legos are a totally different demon. That's like a category all of it down.
That's why I said I don't think anybody can get used to Legos, no matter how how tough the feet are.
Ever.
Okay. All right. So my next question right here, which brings us up to current times right here. So with this whole quarantine thing going on around here, and believe you me, it's been wild, it's been crazy, and I've noticed during this time that there's been like an increase in the sex workers industry and things like that. Like everybody has an OnlyFans, and a lot of women are getting into like the sex work. So it's like how's it been for you?
I have been happy. I've been grateful that I put in as much hard work as I put in before the quarantine happened, because I've been pleasantly surprised at how well I have been able to maintain my business. Yes, I have taken a hit on my income slightly, but it hasn't been anything that is detrimental. I'm still able to support myself and have everything I need. But the industry is definitely getting flooded with new people. It's a constant thing in the industry. There's always new girls and girls that come and go, and within 3 months to a year, you've never heard of them again. That's it. But it's definitely flooded the industry, especially with OnlyFans, because if you Google, for example, how much do you make on OnlyFans? The information they give you is asinine. Like I'm so far off base. And I've read Twitter threads with other girls that are content creators on OnlyFans that are just like, I never even know. Like that's kind of like this and that. Like I'm in the top 25% and I'm not making what Google is saying that you should be making doing it. But a lot of the problem with sex work is that people think it's going to be something you jump into and it's going to be easy money and it's going to be fast.
I know I have been seeing a lot of that, especially because I watch a lot of documentaries on the sex work and things like that, and to a lot of ladies who had they experienced what I call the dark side or the downside of like porn and things like that, and that's what they said. They jumped into it head first, thinking that it was going to be like easy money, and then when they found out all the things that they had to do and all the time that it took, and everything that it really did, it brought them really down. They experienced they had really bad experience, and then they started, just basically, become horrible, and they speak out against it. So it's do you think that's the problem right there? It's like they jump in it very naively, or they just don't take the time to really understand.
I think it would be hard for me to judge why the reason is that so many of these girls come into the industry just so misunderstood on what to expect it to happen and what to expect out of it. I think a lot of it is being naive, and I think a lot of it is being, stubborn or stupid, probably, because a lot of these girls don't tend to look at it like a business that, you have to put everything into it. Like, honestly, I've been able to support myself sustainably now, and pay all of my bills and maintain everything the way I need to for 8 out of the 10 months I've been doing this, but I put in a lot of work for it. I definitely put in more than 40 hours a week of work. Ultimately, when you look at all the time replying and interacting and spending the time to post everything and do everything, but I enjoy doing it and I enjoy what I do with it. So it doesn't feel like work so much that it's like, oh my God, I'm putting in 60 hours this week or something. And I can work on my own schedule, which is great. But yeah, it's definitely not easy money. It's not quick money. And once you get to a point where you are doing well, it takes a lot of work to maintain that and to not get stagnant, get boring, get dull, lose like lose your momentum to be able to continue to progress. So it's definitely a lot more work than I think a lot of people think it is.
Yeah, no. So it's like, do you think like, all right, excuse me if I keep like, with the towel right here, but I got a little small fan on that's trying to keep me cool because I don't want to turn this big giant one on because otherwise you really wouldn't hear me from the background. But it's like, I keep like sweating. I'm trying to keep it out of my eyes.
You're okay. I have my air cranked down way, way low because these lights get super hot and I didn't want to be sweaty.
And that's what it is. Like I got this big bright light on right here. You don't think it would generate a lot of heat, but if you can see like all the that it's doing to me right now, I am sweating my ass off.
It's insane. Every time I'm on set, I'm like sweating like a whore in church. I'm like every time it's like ridiculous. Because like you have to turn the AC off most of the time because you don't want to get it background for the audio. So there's no fans, no AC. You have all these hot lights on, and then all of us are breathing hard and heavy, and a lot of it is like physically strenuous sometimes. And I'm just like, that's why like every time I finish one clip, my makeup's already like wrecked, and I look like I did some like wild gangbang crazy sex scene, and it's like, no, I'm just like yawning and sweating for like 8 minutes. That's all.
Yeah, because of all these lights. All right, yeah. The question I was going to ask, like, so say like, like some like let's see, say like a young like like 18 or 20-some-year-old like came up to you right now and said they want to like join the industry and things like that. Like, what advice would you give them?
I have been approached by a lot of young girls and guys actually that say that. I usually tell them, usually if anything, my first question is, how long have you been thinking about this? Because most of them haven't put thought into it. And my advice to them is always to learn a little bit more about the ins and outs of the industry before you make any decisions. Because, for example, once you put out, whether people want to call it porn or not because you're not having sex and it's fetish, so that's a big whole different subject of a debate that people have. But ultimately, once you put out content that somebody else is jerking off to, you can never take that back. Anybody can pirate that content. Anybody can put that content anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, including to your grandparents and your mother and your pastor and God knows what else. So my advice is always to kind of learn a little bit more about what you're going to have to do when you start in the industry. Like all of the work you're going to need to put in to get it off the ground and then put in to maintain it. And also think about if you're going to be able to realistically support yourself in the beginning while you're doing that, or if it's something you want to do full time or not. So like, it's always just basically have like, what have you thought about? And then sometimes if they ask me, like if they inquire further, any of my future supporters will tell you I'm always keen to try to give a piece of my time to anybody that's in need of it or that supports me or anything. I try to give back to people so they want to support what I do and the content I create. So I never have a problem explaining those things to new people if they're genuinely interested and not just, I want to do it because it's quarantine and I can make quick money. I'm like, you're going to make like $4 your first month, maybe. So before you bet your payment for your house on OnlyFans, calm down.
Because we have been hearing a whole lot of that right there. Like basically, people jumping in it. Like I said earlier, like thinking that it's easy money. Then when they realize, what's this all about, and it's like, oh my God, I didn't think it was going to be like this. And of course, you hear the stories of like the people like once they left the industry, they went on and they tried to get like other jobs, like basically like being a teacher or a daycare worker and things like that, and it worked out good until the past got found out and they lost it, and that really does suck right there. Like
yeah, and that's part of what I thought about and what I advise people that want to get into the industry think about, because that's what I'm saying. Like once you put that content out there, you could never guarantee that anyone in your life from here forward, even until you're 65, I mean, like, people can find that and people can have their opinions about that. So it's something to seriously consider before you make the decision to do that. And that was part of what took me so long before I finally decided to say, yeah, let's go ahead and put my all in and give it a go.
Yeah, so like in the future, like whether you'd like to do this for a long time or, you know, go do something else, you can at least look back and say like, yeah, I did that. And so it's like things like that.
Exactly.
Okay, so like my next question is right here is like this should be a very fun one. So it's like, all right, so when you're not showing off your feet, like, you know, tickling the hell out of people and things like that, it's like, what do you like to do outside of like the fetish industry and the sex industry, work and things like that?
Like just what I do for fun type of stuff.
Yes.
Honestly, I have more hobbies and interests than I even have time for to realistically pursue. I love being active and I like doing a lot of stuff outdoors. Like I love kayaking and fishing. I'm certified to scuba dive. I really, really love to travel. I like golfing. I've got a great set of golf clubs.
Like, as soon as we're able to travel.
Yeah, exactly. I really miss traveling. Yeah, I do. I paint sometimes. I really like to read. I like playing some video games.
Oh, yeah. I love gaming.
Exactly. I just got a new Xbox for my birthday.
Oh, you're an Xbox player? Hey, that's us right there. You know, see, look at that. I'm not the only team Xbox player, chat.
I was always a PlayStation girl my whole life. Like I've been from like the 3 different PS2s that I had because I kept breaking them with my mom's dog knocking it over or whatever, like to the PS3, PS4. And I was very, very hesitant to switch over to the Xbox. And the first time I played it, I was like, this controller is fucking retarded. I was like, I hate this. And a guy that I've been dating was he was like, you know, he's an Xboxer. And so I would always like, you know, roast him and talk shit and be like, well, PlayStation's better and whatever, just to like be a little brat. But once I actually started playing on it, I liked it. I didn't have an issue with it. And I liked that I could like, you know, link up with like other people that I knew that did it. So I'm officially converted to Xbox, but I was PlayStation my whole life before that.
As you can see, you know, we got a couple of, you know, Xbox haters in the chat right there. Yeah, most of them are PC gamers, so it's like they're always going to hate on what they call us consoles peasants and things like that.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's a whole different league of gaming, I feel like, than doing it. Like, I feel like it's totally different. Like, try to play any game on a like console and go play it on a PC. You can kick everybody's ass on your console. Bet you're gonna suck ass on PC the first week. Like it's
man,
like insane.
Yeah, straight up.
Like props to them that can do it, and they deserve to be cocky about it. Yeah, don't get too shitty with it, but you deserve to be a little arrogant. I'll give you an inch on that.
Yeah, because my thing is like I would if I had the time to do it, because that's what I feel like. I feel like PC gamers, you know, you got to dedicate a lot of time to it because most of the games that you're going to be playing are like online. And I'm a recreational gamer because besides like I'm doing this basically as a hobby, you know, I have a job and I have children, so it's like that takes up the majority of my time. So it's like I can't, you know, like see right there, you know, like you know, work, you know, spend time with my kids who are basically teenagers right now, so that, you know, they spend time with themselves, and then all of a sudden jump on a PC game like right now with like Warcraft and Fortnite and all that right there, where you got to put some like hours into it in order to be the best. And I'm like, nah, I can't do that right there. So I'll stick to my consoles.
Yeah, I can't. I don't even like. I feel like sometimes I already get sucked into spending way too many hours on my console, so I couldn't even imagine falling down the black hole of PC gaming.
I would be straight lost.
Again, I would be a defunct fetish model if I started PC gaming. I would never have time to do that unless I was just gonna like base my life on like Twitch and like streaming me gaming maybe. But I don't really know how much money I would make doing that. I'm not sure.
I said, be surprised. Like I said, I see a lot of sex workers like that that do game well. They can't do it on Twitch because
Yeah,
Twitch
I
got
know a
like
couple of people that do it. Yeah,
yeah, like
definitely.
like I think it all depends on like the websites and things like that because like certain ones have like certain favorites and certain like rules and things like that. It's like they'll allow one person to do it, but then you try to do it, and all of a sudden they're like, you can't do that right there. You're out. I'm like,
And sex workers have a lot of problems with that, where you get your accounts for no reason. You haven't violated community guidelines or terms. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even, YouTube. There's so many sites like even Cash App and PayPal and stuff like that target sex workers that are even ones that are doing very legitimate work and pay taxes and stuff. But yeah, no, it's definitely an issue. And I would imagine it would be the same if you were into video game streaming, where you're going to end up getting banned for no reason. Like I've got so many friends that have been banned forever from Twitter or from like Tinder, just because they have been identified as like a sex worker. And I'm like, I just don't, it is a shame. It really is that type of thing still happens in this day and age, but that's what it is.
I know. And I was listening to a lot of the hobby that you said right there, like I don't know if I could ever get into the scuba diving right there because the boy can't swim. So
oh my God, yeah, you'd be petrified to death. I haven't gone in a long time, but it's amazing. I really love scuba diving. It's like a whole different world, honestly. It's a lot of fun, but I prefer to do cavern diving in freshwater. So I don't do cave diving. Cavern diving, I still see light at the surface. I don't go completely in the dark because that's risky.
Oh yeah, and you mentioned travel earlier, so it's like what places have you been?
I have been so many places. I love the Keys. Outside of the U.S., I've been to Mexico, Belize, which is one place I really fell in love with. I really want to go back. Grand Cayman, the Bahamas, Honduras. I went to Iceland on my way to London. I spent a month in London a couple of 2 years ago. And I went to go meet a guy that I had been dating that I met online. And I was in a BDSM dynamic with him. And I went out to London to stay with him and meet him and spend a month there. And that was really cool. We ended up breaking up. We're still amazing. Still like a mentor to me and a huge part of my life, but we're not together anymore. But London is definitely a place where I left a piece of myself, and I'd love to go back. I didn't get to spend enough time in Iceland. I had an overnight layover, so I got to explore a little bit, but that was really incredible. I loved San Francisco. Boise, Idaho surprised me that it was really an amazing place. I always loved going back home to Chicago. So I don't know. I've been so many great places. I love the Smoky Mountains. Oh my God, so many great places there. I love everywhere I go. I make the most of it wherever I wind up. So there's really no place I can't say that I've ever been that I don't love.
Oh yeah. Cause with me, it's like once I get to able to travel, it's like I like to go to places like outside. I like to go to the Bahamas, and I definitely want to go to Jamaica. Like before I leave this world, I gotta make that Jamaica trip. It's like if I can make that right there, I can die a happy man.
Yes, I want to go. There's so many islands in the Caribbean. I love the Caribbean, and I love all the island culture and the people and everything. It's just amazing.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that in the future. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, I did answer that question right there. So it's like that. Nope, I asked that one right there. I said, do we almost go through everything?
Improv questions.
I said, like we went through everything, and well, like I said, we got about 10 minutes left. So chat, if you have any questions right now that you'd like to ask Kitty while she's on here, feel free to drop them down so we can ask them right there.
Definitely let me know. I haven't said no to any questions yet, so
Yeah, it's like I gave it a chance. Like, if I asked some questions that she didn't want to answer, she could have, I plead the fifth or anything like that. So,
Yeah.
and it's been great, wonderful right here because I've learned a whole lot from you about everything right there, especially like with the fetish industry because because when I had looked into the fetish industry and things like that, like that's what it basically was just some things that I found like really weird because I really didn't understand it, and and when like a lot of people some people like explained in this like I don't know about that, but to hear somebody from that's actually into the industry right there, basically talking to you and giving you like the rundown on a whole lot of things, I'm like, yeah, very cool. And so we got Princess Unicorn Nipples telling you like to check your Snapchat, so it's like I
Oh my
I can
God.
I can just only imagine.
Oh my God. You understand? I have so many people to get back to. It's insane. I'm not even exaggerating. I have like almost 700 unopened Snapchats right now.
Oh man.
Not even to mention Instagram and Twitter and text messages and emails and OnlyFans messages and everything else, but it's so hard to keep up. I mean, I'm grateful it's not a bad problem to have because I worked hard to have this type of a problem. But because I try so hard to be accessible to my fans, and that's what a lot of my supporters really like the most about me is the fact that I do, try to give to the fans and try to be accessible. But it's just one of those things where it's starting to it gets hard sometimes. I get spread thin.
Which this is wonderful right here because it's like when I got a response for you, I was like, oh my gosh, she responded because I know it can get like very very busy with a lot of people because like how you say they have so many messages coming from this word and everywhere. It's like how if they get to them, so I'm like, well, it doesn't hurt to ask. If she gets to it, she gets to it.
Really hard to follow up with it. I do my best, especially if anything is like a business inquiry. I've had to limit with my fans. Like I try to still at least answer most of the DMs I get at least, but like I have to direct them to like my OnlyFans or my Sex Panther or Night Flirt if they just want to like talk fetish or chat and stuff like that because I just didn't have the time anymore to be able to just chat with everybody in all of my DMs and not be making money with my time with it. So but I always get back to anybody within business inquiry, even if it's something I'm not going to do. I'll always reply and at least say thanks so much for your time and reaching out to me, but I'm not interested. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a matter of just being a professional more than anything.
All right, we got a question from WR Carson right here. It says, have you ever gone skinny dipping?
Hell yeah, like all the time. Yeah. I'm like legit naked most of the time. Like I walk out front and I live on a busy road and like I go outside to get my mail or feed that cat that lives outside butt ass naked on like my neighbors are legit lucky as fuck and they must love me. Like I tan naked in my backyard all the time.
And they're like, yo,
dipping in pools. I've done it in the ocean. I've done it in a lake. I've done it in a river. I have definitely done my fair share of skinny dipping, and I love it. It's fun. Everybody should go skinny dipping at some point in their life. You're not living if you don't.
That's it. RVA Dar says, like, do you have a Streamlabs? Now, I don't know if she has a Streamlabs, but she does have a Cash App and a Venmo. That's how I got in contact with you right there. So like, so if you ever like,
oh yeah, I've got those usually listed. I have my Cash App listed on my Twitter, and sometimes it's advertised on my Snapchat for my premium Snapchat. But anybody that hits me up, whatever in my DM, that's when I don't put my Venmo out there, but it's. Anyway, I mean, it's my handle on Twitter for my Venmo anyway, so it's not hard to find.
Yeah, which at the end of the stream, we'll let everybody know like how they can get in contact with you. All right, so Chaos Eve right here asks if you weren't doing fetish modeling, what would you be doing for a living instead?
I would probably still be managing dental offices. I worked in corporate dental, the corporate dental field for over 10 years, and I was a practice administrator. So I managed doctors and staffs and profits and losses for, a major office. And I would probably still be working 40 plus hours a week in the dental office and loving what I love about dental and hating everything else that I hated about the office politics and the shitty patients and insurance companies.
Ooh, I could just imagine that.
I would probably still be there, and that would more than likely be what I would be doing.
So you work for the majority of people who I used to cater for before this quarantine happened. Right now, it's like, thanks for to my job right now, where it's like I work at a hospital, so it's like I'm glad I'm able to be able to go to work and do something, because with a lot of people who are quarantined and they can't go to certain jobs right there, and they've had to rely on stimulus check or unemployment and things like that. I'm blessed to be able to say I can actually go out there, and work and earn a living.
Exactly. And that's why I'm grateful that I do what I do, because I've been able to still make a living from home and be safe and everything, because actually a lot of dental offices closed here, at least in my county. They've been closed for the lockdown, where they only had somebody remotely answering phones, like maybe part-time one person. And I know how it is managing the practice. So I would have been at a far greater risk for being one of the majority of people that, were totally fucked. So I'm really grateful that I do what I do, and I've been able to still make a living throughout all of this, for sure. Very blessed.
All right. And we got WR Crossing again, who asked, are fat machines awesome? I don't know. Have you ever used one?
I don't know if I've ever, I'm trying to think. I don't remember if I've ever actually gotten to use one. Like, I've seen them, like I know people who've had them, but I don't know if I've ever gotten a chance to actually use one myself.
I said sure. So basically doing the sessions, I have anybody basically put one on you.
Okay, no, I have not. Definitely have not had anybody try to put one of those on me at all. So that would be a first.
So something I'll say, so I definitely maybe in the future, probably.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Things could happen. I mean, crazier things have happened, right? I mean, I've done and shot a lot of things that I never thought I would. So you never know.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say looking forward to a lot of things in the future. Like for everybody who knows, if you want to get in touch with her, you'll find her on Twitter right here. At Kitty Quinn. Basically you'll basically see her right here. She's a fetish model. It says right here on her profile, size 7 soul. She's poly, bi, sadomasochist. Switch, shoots, sessions, custom clips, photo sets. Yeah. Worn items, and it has all of her links right here, from her OnlyFans to her Sex Panther, Nightflirt.com, her Amazon wish list.
All of it. My email, all of them, they should be.
Her account for Fetish Model Network.
Oh no, you're breaking up again. I'm losing you. You're frozen. Oh wait, no, you're not frozen anymore.
Everything is right into her Twitter. Where as soon as you are, I'll find I would put it all down into the description box, but oh no, I hate that. And we're going right to the very end. It happens sometimes, but it's get rid of websites and things like that if you want to order customs, or basically talk to her online, how I have and things like that. And she's a very wonderful person. It's thank you for this wonderful interview right here. You really opened my mind to a whole a lot of things right there.
Me. I appreciate it.
And this was so great.
For sure. Anybody else that wants to, you know, show me any interest or anything, Kitty Quinn X on Twitter. You can find my email and all my stuff. So hit me up.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, you know, thanks to Princess Unicorn Nipples for recommending her to me. Get twisted up in my word because I'm so excited about this. You know, it's been a wonderful interview right here. And like once again, like, you know, thanks to you for coming on here and you know, sharing your story about everything that you do right here with us, you know, like you know, expanding our minds and things like that. And thank you to everybody in the chat right now for joining us. You know, as always, you know, like I love all y'all who comes on here, things like that. You know, thanks for spending time with us. And this is your boy Pat saying, you know, until we see you again, you know, good morning, good evening, and good night. Be sure to check out Kitty Quinn, you know.